Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand premiere to Tea Time, Talk Time, and I am very pleased to present this to you, not on schedule. I was initially intending for this to be released on Christmas Day, but like a monkey I forgot my mic. Anyway, with this being the pilot episode, let's give a rundown for what I intend for the series. Well, not that much actually. But what I do know is what the main subject for today will be, and I hope that you will enjoy today's episode based around a quick music nerd's review of the music of Dark Souls 3. And just a quick note, this is my first sort of semi-serious video, and I'd love to hear what all of you guys think of this sort of style of video, whether you like it or not, or whether you prefer for me to go back to the old sort of style. It is much easier for me to edit the older videos, but more interesting to write for me. So with Elden Ring set to release sometime in February, I've decided to have a little playthrough of Dark Souls 3. Now, I've always been quite the fan of From Software games, but I've only played Dark Souls 1 and 2, along with Sekiro, but never Dark Souls 3 for some reason, and in one swift transaction, I bought it. I have of course completed the game's main story, including all optional bosses, with my runs of both DLCs soon coming to a close, with the last two bosses I have left being Dark Eater Nadir and Slave Knight Gale. With this game finally under my belt, I remembered just how amazing the soundtracks I know and love from Software games are, and of course Dark Souls 3 is no exception. From the intense and beautiful Twin Princes, to the cold, dark, and eerie Dancer of the Boreal Valley. And a little side note, I have done a deep dive into Souls lore, and I highly suggest anyone interested in the lore of different games does so, as it is one of my favourite lores next to Fallout and Skyrim. Anyway, this soundtrack has it all. One of my favourite pieces is one of the first you hear, and is one of the best main title themes I think I've ever heard, along with, of course, the legendary Halo main theme. And various Fallout themes. I am of course talking about the opening track, Dark Souls 3. It's dramatic, it has perfect texture layering when it needs it, with every instrument and voice within the piece complementing each other perfectly. Starting off, the track starts with a choral opening, with a bell that tolls in the background, similar to the bell outside the nameless King Boss room, as well as a small link to the Bells of Awakening in Dark Souls 1. As the piece progresses, it builds tension, with more instruments being added, the main section of course being strings, and in what I would almost consider to be a chorus, the tension is released in the climax of the track. The strings to me sound almost polyphonic, but I could also kind of consider them homophonic, with the different string instruments playing slightly similar parts. But that isn't all. The lead vocalist, which is apparently, do not quote me on this, the composer of the track herself, and the vocals working with the strings perfectly mesh together to make this track what it is. Skipping further on a bit, we reach a similar section, however this time, it's just the strings. And later on I'll go into the effect these types of instrumentation has on the player themselves, or listener, but what I can do now is let you take a listen to this. The vocals after this then come back in, with the strings and the piece finally ending where it all began, with a bell. Now, it's time for a few links to Dark Souls 1, and I'm sure most of you that have played Dark Souls 1 before know that in the second phase of Soul of Cinder, they take the form of the First Lord's fighting style, with an altered tribute to Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, playing the iconic piano leitmotif. Along with amazing string work which work together to help portray the twisted world seen behind in the kiln of the First Flame, representing Lothric and the entire journey you've ventured so far. Along with the callback to the final boss of Dark Souls 1, the string and bass notes played almost make the player quiver during the second phase. The first phase, while not being particularly difficult, is intense, and especially if you're up against Soul of Cinder that's equipped with a falchion, does not let you have much time to take a breather. The second phase, however, slows a bit. The first flame is about to fade, and you're at the final frontier of your journey. And whereas this phase is arguably easier than the first phase, the music and the texture of the piece add an eerie atmosphere, much like how the absence of lots of different instruments adds to the stress of the Dancer of the Boreal Valley fight. The texture of the piece and the dynamics have an indescribable effect on the player, and I think one of the best ways I can put it is this. You've come this far, and after intensity and grueling battles, you're met with the final stretch, and you realize your journey's about to come to an end. It feels empty, and the emptiness that you can kind of imagine in the piece eats away at you until you finally rest, ending the journey just like in the first game, in the kiln of the first flame. And well, I'm sorry for the dramatic read, but I don't think I could have explained it in any other way, and I can't find any word or term that can explain the effect of the soundtrack on the player. Well, that was one hell of a journey, and one hell of a script writing process, and if you'd like to see anything in future Tea Time Talk Time episodes, please do comment below, and hopefully next time I may add a few more subjects. But I feel like this was a nice way to start the series off. And just a quick note, if I got anything wrong in this video, I'd love to hear how I can improve. I'd love to hear how I can improve. I'm also intending on either doing this once every 2 weeks or once in a month, and I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next upload, whenever that may be. So for now, goodbye.